In a dusty little village surrounded by fields of golden wheat and cracked mud roads, lived a boy named Amir. He was 12 years old, small in height, and always dressed in the same faded shirt that his mother washed every evening and hung under the dim bulb outside their clay house. Life had never been generous to Amir. His father, once a strong laborer, had grown weak after an injury at the factory. His mother stitched clothes for neighbors to keep the family fed. In that poor home, there was never enough food, never enough money, and certainly never any luxuries. But there was something else, something more powerful than wealth. Amir carried a dream in his heart, a dream bright enough to light up the darkest nights. He wanted to become a scientist. The dream began the day Amir found a broken radio thrown near the village garbage pit. He picked it up, brushed off the dirt, and stared at its strange insides, wires, metallic parts, and small components stuck like a puzzle. He didn't know what any of them were, but he was fascinated. That night, when the rest of the village fell asleep, he sat under the flickering bulb outside his home and tried to open the radio using an old screwdriver. His mother watched him in confusion. "Why waste time on broken things?" she asked gently. Amir looked up, eyes glowing. "Maybe it's broken, Ami, but if I learn how it works, maybe I can fix things one day. Big things, important things." His mother smiled sadly. Dreams were beautiful, but poverty crushed dreams every day. Still, she didn't stop him. Amir attended the village public school, a building with cracked walls, broken benches, and barely any books in the library. While many children came only for the free midday meal, Amir came for knowledge. He listened to every teacher as if every word was treasure. He especially loved science. When the teacher explained how plants make food through sunlight, Amir looked at the wheat fields with new eyes. When he learned about stars and planets, he spent nights lying on the roof, counting constellations. But dreaming wasn't enough. Reality hit him daily. Sometimes he couldn't afford the school fee. Sometimes he went hungry to class. Sometimes other boys laughed at him. "Look at him," they mocked. "Poor boy wants to become a scientist." As if scientists come from broken houses. Amir didn't reply. He simply lowered his eyes and continued reading his old science book, the only one he owned, gifted by a teacher who believed in him. One winter evening, the electricity went out, something that happened very often. Amir had homework and an upcoming science test. But he couldn't study in the dark. His father sighed. "We can't buy candles today, son." Amir nodded quietly. He picked up discarded metal pieces from the toolbox, some wires, and the little solar panel he once found from a broken toy. Hours passed as he worked under the moonlight. His fingers were numb with cold, but he didn't stop. By midnight, he created a small lamp powered by solar energy. The next morning, the entire neighborhood came to see it. A boy from a poor home, creating a light from scraps. It was unbelievable. His father looked at him with tearful pride. "You truly are something else, Amir," he whispered. This lamp was small, but it lit more than his home. It lit his confide. One day, a new science teacher, Sir Cameron, arrived at the school. He had studied in the city and had a passion for helping bright kids. During class, he noticed how Amir answered every question, how he sat in the front row, how he held his pencil carefully as if knowledge could slip away. After class, he asked Amir, "What do you want to become?" "A scientist," Amir answered without hesitation. Sir Cameron smiled. "Then you will become one." Those words were like water to dry soil. From that day, Sir Cameron gave him extra books, old magazines, and even broken lab equipment. For experiments, every day after school, Amir stayed back to learn more. But poverty is stubborn. Amir's father's health grew worse, and medical bills grew higher. His mother began working day and night. Amir wanted to help too. So after school, he worked at a tea stall, washing glasses and cleaning tables. He returned home late at night, exhausted, with hands wrinkled from soapy water. But he still studied. Some nights he fell asleep sitting on his books. Some nights he studied with an empty stomach. Some nights he cried quietly from stress. But he never quit. One night, while worrying about money for school fee, Amir asked his mother, "Ami, should I stop studying? I can work more." His mother immediately shook her head. "No, you will study. You will become what you dream of. Poverty can take food from us, but it cannot take your future." Months later, a national science competition was announced. Students from all over the country could participate. Sir Cameron encouraged Amir to enter. "I don't have materials," Amir said quietly. "You have ideas," Sir Cameron replied. "That's enough." So Amir began working. He used scrap materials, broken parts, and recycled wires to build a low-cost water purifier, something his village desperately needed. The process took weeks. He tested, failed, repaired, tested again. Some nights he stayed awake till dawn. On the day of the competition, Amir traveled to the city for the first time in his life. Tall buildings, bright lights, and the dream-like environment overwhelmed him. But he held his project tightly, like holding his destiny. Students around him had expensive devices, advanced models, laptops, and polished presentations. For a moment, Amir felt small again. But then he remembered his mother's words. He stood tall. During presentation, Amir explained how millions of poor families drink contaminated water and how his purifier could save lives. Judges listened in awe. His project wasn't fancy, but it was powerful, practical, and filled with heart. Hours later, when winners were announced, Amir's heart pounded. First prize, Amir Khan from Kherpur village. Silence. Then cheers. He couldn't believe it. He, a poor village boy, had defeated students from the best schools. After the competition, journalists wrote about him. A university professor offered him sponsorship and free education. A charity foundation promised to support his family. For the first time, Amir's life changed. He moved to the city to study at a top science college. It wasn't easy. He had to adjust to new technology, new teachers, and new lifestyles. Many students came from wealthy families. They had laptops, tablets, books, and resources he had never seen before. Amir had only determination. He studied harder than everyone. He spent hours in the library. He asked questions fearlessly. Slowly, he became one of the best students in college. Teachers noticed him. Researchers encouraged him. Opportunities opened like never before. Years passed. Amir completed his graduation, then a master's degree, then a PhD in environmental science. His research focused on clean water solutions for poor communities, inspired by his childhood struggles. He invented new purification devices, designed sustainable technology, and even collaborated with international scientists. His name began appearing in research journals. But despite all the success, Amir never forgot his village. Every year, he returned home to teach children, donate books, build water systems, and inspire young minds. His father, sitting proudly at the village tea stall, would often say, "My son turned darkness into light." One evening, Amir received a letter. It invited him to an international science conference in Switzerland. His research was selected among the top innovations of the year. Nervous but proud, Amir attended the event and stood on a global stage wearing a simple suit and his old modest smile. When his turn came, he spoke about his journey. "I was born in poverty. But poverty is not a prison if you refuse to stop dreaming. Science became my light, and today, I want to make sure every child, rich or poor, has access to that light." The audience gave him a standing ovation. Later, he was awarded a Global Innovation Prize, one of the highest honors a scientist could receive. Amir returned to his village carrying the medal. The villagers gathered around, cheering loudly. Children ran behind him, shouting, "Scientist by his back." He walked to the spot where he once found the broken radio, the place where his dream began. He stood there silently, feeling gratitude wash over him. His mother placed her hand on his shoulder and whispered, "You made your dream come true." Amir smiled. "No, Ami, our dream came true." With prize money and international support, Amir built a science learning center in his village. It had computers, books, labs, and everything he once wished he had as a child. Children who once had no access to education now discovered stars through telescopes, experimented with chemicals, and built small machines. One day, a little boy asked Amir, "Sir, can someone like me become a scientist too?" Children who once had no access to education now discovered stars through telescopes, experimented with chemicals, and built small machines. Amir knelt, placed his hand on the boy's shoulder, and said, "I was once just like you. So yes, if you are willing to work hard, believe in yourself, and never give up, you can become anything." Amir's story spread worldwide. He became a symbol of hope for millions of children born in poverty. Schools taught his journey, newspapers wrote about him, and his inventions helped countries facing water shortages. But to Amir, the real success wasn't the awards, money, or fame.